All right. Hi, Constance. My name is Gabriel Jung, and I'm from NextShark.
Hi, Gabriel. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. So, before we start off, I need to emphasize how big of a fan of yours I am. Honestly, I grew up on Fresh Off the Boat and watching
Oh,
you. It's
thanks.
such an honor to meet you.
Thanks.
So, with your work on, Fresh Off the Boat, Crazy Rich Asians, and a lot of other, works and narratives, many look to you as one of the first icons in Hollywood Asian representation, especially as an Asian American woman. How do you feel about that title, and do you see yourself in that role?
I don't see myself as an icon, and I generally don't like to rank people. Um, Gloria Steinem has this great quote about feminism where she says, "We are linked, not ranked." And I think we need to lean into that idea to have a sense of community and solidarity and to lift everybody up. So the whole idea of like, oh, worship, we are not worthy, you're some goddess. I'm like, no, everybody is a human of value and worth, that can bring something to the world. And I like to think of everybody in that way. And I like to think of me as kind of linked, equal to, rather than ranked. So any type of thing that has to do with ranking somebody or saying somebody's like better than somebody, it makes me uncomfortable because I think it's very reductive to the human experience. We're all just like going through it and learning and processing. And it's not so final as like you're an icon and you're not. It's all just a journey.
Yeah. I want to kind of build off that too. With since early 2020 and the COVID pandemic hit, and there's been, a rise of anti-Asian hate. And we saw a lot of Asian actors and advocates go to social media to speak out or denounce hate. But of course, as we all know, with your absence on social media, there are people who often come out and criticize you, saying that you're silent. How would you address those people?
Oh, do they? I would say that I think we need to understand that there are methods of activism that don't require social media. And in fact, there are ones that are more productive than social media is. And I still have remained very much engaged um, in those arenas. And I think one of the ways that we need to have solidarity as Asian Americans is by not judging each other's personal methods of activism. I still very much remain engaged in it, just not via social media, but like you guys have to remember there are other ways you can get involved other than social media. Um, and those are the ways that I think, because I grew up in the 90s, are, and I just turned 40, they're more intuitive to me. I like to be on the ground. I don't like to tweet about voting. I like to go to events to talk to people and be like, hey, did you register to vote? This is your polling place. And I do those things. And to be more actively involved, like on the ground, on my feet, just is more intuitive to me as a 90s kid, I think.
The Terminalist. It's an obvious standout from your other works like rom-coms and family dynamics and etc. What was it about the Terminalist and your character Katie, the journalist, of course, that got you on board? What compelled you about
Well, I mean, it was exactly what you just said, is that it was different than than my previous project, which was Hustlers, where I played a stripper, right? So I'm always seeking a project that's completely different from what I did before. I don't like to always be doing the same thing. I like to challenge myself. I like to surprise people. And I really felt like this genre and this character was so wildly different than playing a stripper in Hustlers that it was exactly what I wanted to do. I was also drawn to the fact that Antoine Fuqua was involved. I'm a big fan of his. I watched Training Day and I thought it was tremendous. Denzel and Ethan are so good in it. The storytelling is so amazing in it. And then the writing, I thought the writing was really compelling, and the whole series, it kept me on my toes. Like there were a lot of twists and turns, and it was the kind of thing I'd want to watch and be like, oh my gosh, like what's going to happen next? And so, yeah, it being different from the stripping movie, and the character being so different from that, and the creative team involved were all made it kind of a no-brainer for me. the choice to do it a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I can see that a lot. Sadly, that's all the time I have with you. Honestly, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I can't wait for this to come out and see your performance in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much for sparing some time to talk with me,
Of course,
Constance.
it's nice to see you. Thank you.